We do a lot of 1031 exchanges. So that, I guess I got two deals I could mention. I'll start with the short one.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an out-of-state California client in the middle of actually towards the tail end of their exchange. As you know, you have 45 days to identify your replacement property. I had a woman reach out to me with about $1.5 million in her exchange, and she called me with 2 weeks left in our identification period saying, all right, we're going to pivot. We've decided we want to move our money to Oregon. Well,
Okay.
2 weeks isn't a whole lot of time because by the time you underwrite deals, you make your illustrations, you get under contract, you do your walkthroughs, let alone due diligence, reviewing financials, inspections. I mean, that generally takes more than 2 weeks. Luckily, being in touch and in tune with the property size that she was looking to identify, anything from 5 to 10 units. They're very moderate leverage investors, not overly debt adverse. But I had already had a handful of deals underwritten that I'd used to serve as illustrations. So very quickly, it tied up 3 properties by the end of the week, did all 3 walkthroughs, did 2 inspections, and then picked their favorite. So that just kind of came with, that was tough, right? I mean, it's like, okay, all hands on deck here. When you have 2 weeks, everyone in the team's got to get to work.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back, everyone, to a Real Estate Pros podcast. I am your host, Pedro Pereira, and today I'm joined by someone we've been looking very forward to chat with. We have with us here Cory Carlson, and he's been making some serious moves in the principal real estate broker space. Welcome, Cory.
Well, thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here, man. I think our listeners are really going to be able to take away something from how you're approaching really this volatile market and scaling as well when it comes to being able to grow your business and such. So let's just dive right in. First off, for people who may not be familiar with your world, give us a short version, the elevator pitch. What are your main focuses these days?
Sounds good. Yeah. So I own a real estate brokerage called Constant Commercial Real Estate. We're based out of Oregon. Really, the common denominator of client profile that we work with are investors. So while the firm and the branding may be commercial, I guess what's unique about Constant Commercial is we're a hybrid agency. So we do both residential and commercial sales and leasing. And I really like to kind of break down into kind of 3 pillars that the firm is built on. There's, of course, the brokerage side, like I just mentioned, residential, commercial, and leasing. We also have a commercial mortgage brokerage. We do commercial and apartment mortgage brokerage as well. And then the last is the consulting. So really being able to dive into the numbers, take an analytical approach, model portfolio performance, and be able to give clients guidance that can be quantified. All 3 of those things kind of intertwine to one another with our general client type.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
All right. All right. Love to hear it. And could you expand a little bit further when you said that everything kind of ties in together? Is it like, I guess would say a one-stop shop, or do you guys have particular focuses?
Yeah, I've found that private real estate investors, especially those that have smaller portfolios comprised of residential assets or Plex assets, don't have access to good guidance or
Hmm.
consulting that helps them understand the fundamentals of what they're trying to achieve anyways. So, for example, a client who owns a couple or a few duplexes or triplexes, while we know that is residential in style, but forward, who do you employ to help understand how your properties are currently performing? Have you utilized all the upside? What type of returns are you actually seeing with realistic inputs and the analyses to see your return on equity? And is there opportunity to improve what you got, refi and
Hmm.
scale, exchange into larger, higher yielding? And that's our job, is to help clients understand what they have and scale into larger asset types. And then that's where the financing comes in, where you go, oh, I own 2 duplexes and a few houses. All I've ever done is residential financing. I don't really know how to get a loan for a 15-unit apartment building. Well, we can help and arrange financing for you as well.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
what really caught my attention is how you mentioned, sometimes that smaller investors just don't get access to all of that information or that advice. So it's really good to be looking out for the little guy here. Appreciate the effort that you guys are putting in for that. It's very unique, and sometimes people say, oh, let's focus on the most, let's scale, let's get big. But really it starts with those core relationships, I believe, to build that clientele, to build those experiences.
Yeah, I mean, think about, especially in the most recent real estate market, and when I say recent, in the last 5, 6 years, where a
Hmm.
lot of these assets are highly appreciated. They've had low interest rate environment, and so significant principal reduction. It's almost like the fundamentals didn't really matter because the market kind of saved you. Well, now we got to get back to the fundamentals. So that's what we really try to bring to our clients, is the more objective approach to the real estate, as opposed to buying, holding, and hoping.
Yeah. And that's not easy, especially in this climate. What has been the key to keep that machine running so smoothly, to sort of stay afloat, even though you're focusing on, the little guy here, to make sure that they're doing okay?
Well, I think you said it best, is just relationships. I really try to be in one of the many important roles, is we're at the round table with your CPA and your attorney, or if you have a financial advisor or lender, is, being able to kind of work together and be as a team to help you achieve your goals. I've also found that, if you help a client exchange out of smaller buildings into a bigger one, it makes more money, gets them closer to their goals, that it's not too big of an ask for them to come back and do it again.
I guess that's good. That relationship is really important. It establishes not only, as you said, returning clients, but sure relationships for the future too. Diving into a couple bit more of the nitty gritty here, I would say, every operator has had a moment when things got real. Challenges always do come up in the business world, as we'd say, and maybe a deal went sideways, or you had a time you had to pivot fast, change your mindset. Do you mind sharing one of those moments for you with us?
Yeah.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
We do a lot of 1031 exchanges. So that, I guess I got 2 deals I could mention. I'll start with the short one.
Hmm.
I've had an out-of-state California client in the middle of their, actually towards the tail end of their exchange. As you know, you have 45 days to identify your replacement property. I had a woman reach out to me with about 1.5 million in her exchange, and she called me with 2 weeks left in her identification period saying, all right, we're going to pivot. We've decided we want to move our money to Oregon. Well,
Okay.
2 weeks isn't a whole lot of time because by the time you underwrite deals, you make your illustrations, you get under contract, you do your walkthroughs, let alone due diligence, reviewing financials, inspections. I mean, that generally takes more than 2 weeks. Luckily, being so in touch and in tune with the property size that she was looking to identify, anything from 5 to 10 units. They're very moderate leverage investors, not overly debt adverse. But I had already had a handful of deals underwritten that I'd used to serve as illustrations. So very quickly, I tied up 3 properties by the end of the week, did all 3 walkthroughs, did 2 inspections, and then picked their favorite. So that just kind of came with, that was tough, right? I mean, it's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, all hands on deck here. When you have 2 weeks, everyone in the team's got to get to work. And I like to say those who are in their exchanges are usually on the top of my to-do list. And I guess another one would be also related to an exchange, is I had a client who's
Hmm.
exchanging out of a single family home, a 4-plex, a 6-plex, in a 9-unit building. And with an exchange, all of these buildings need to close relatively within as close to possible.
Hmm.
And one of those, the 6-unit building, was kind of an issue in it had sale failed a couple times. And as you know, in an exchange, you need to go up in value or equal to or up in value. And so the problem with having, as I'm analyzing deals and we're getting properties under contract, is, well, when one falls out, that's $1 million. That's a fork in the road of,
Hmm.
now we're going down in value. So that's probably one of the more troublesome ones, in that how we solved this issue was we really took the what if fork in the road, is, if this building sells, here are the properties that fit your criteria that are on the market that I know have the return expectations that we've discussed. And if it doesn't, we're doing a refi on that building, and we're taking money out and closing on these ones. And so I guess the pivot factor there is really just around preparation, and having clients, or having a very open dialogue, and being overly communicative with clients, because exchanges can be stressful if you don't plan.
Of course. And you said it best, the communicating, the over communicating almost is what keeps these things afloat. I think that's what really differentiates the people who just dabble in the industry versus the ones who, are in it for the long run, big
Yep.
game, long-term thinkers. So let me ask you this, thinking about the long term, the future here, what are you guys most focused on solving or scaling next? What's the next real goal for your business?
Yeah. So right now we're a small outfit. So I have 2 associate brokers. One focuses on the investment sales and leasing, and then the other does more on the sales side and more on the residential and Plex side. So forward looking, I'd like to bring on more professionals that.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Brokers who are professionals in their respective niche. So, like,
Hmm.
it'd be great to have someone who has hung their hat focusing on industrial sales. I don't do a ton of industrial. I pretty much do every other commercial property type, but industrial just doesn't come across my desk very often. So, my forward thinking would be bringing on brokers with talent who know their way around certain property types, but then can also employ the kind of consulting advisory mentality that we have here at Constant Commercial.
That's great. That's great. So scaling,
Same thing
that's
goes
big.
for the mortgage side, right?
Hmm.
So like Now, if we were doing loans, which is a minority of volume in our firm, it'd be great to bring on someone who just solely focuses on the mortgage, creating new relationships with lenders, and where I can focus on working on the client and be able to kind of hand off and work as a team their loan to another broker would be helpful.
Yeah, of course. And if, we could expand a bit, the mentality here, as you mentioned, is, we talked about helping the little guy out, creating those connections with your clients. How do you see that translating over into the scaling that you're looking into? Are you guys looking to change the mindset to get more quantity, or are you going to keep, the mindset of like quality for these smaller clients, and we're going to grow on a more, I guess I would say, gradual level rather than a big boom?
Yeah, I guess kind of both. A
Hmm.
bit of a cop out of an answer there, but I mean, like, we definitely can take in more. I've gained efficiencies in being able to help clients with smaller assets exchange and buy bigger ones. That just seems to be where I'm focusing. So whether I'm underwriting deals that are on the market or come across my desk, generally that's actually fitting the profile of more than one client. Rarely do I have more
Right.
than one client who actually want that building, but
Hmm.
so we're ready to bring on more clients with residential buildings who want to go into larger buildings. That doesn't mean we can't help clients who have larger assets already. It's just having a team. We have a very, very dynamic and flexible and fluid team here, even though we're small, which I think we're well equipped and have access to all the data and resources that even the larger outfits have. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of ready for both. Bring on the little guy, bring on the big one. We can help you
All
out.
right. That's great to hear. That's very big. Especially when we've already got such already a history of, building this relationship with your clients. This next move can either, compound things or really just create some chaos, or, as we're hoping, organize chaos,
Yeah.
depending on how you play it. Now, I know that a lot of people here listening are either very early in their journey or looking to level up, and I think they benefit from hearing this. When it comes to building relationships and growing your network, what has made the biggest difference for you?
Being honest and real, also competent. I don't know. I like to, as a fairly analytical type, let the numbers speak, right? Rather than I feel good about this market or this investment is like, well, let's make sure that the client understands the fundamentals and find how or why we're underwriting deals this way. So, I mean, I guess that's really it. Like starting out as a consultant and an advisor, and then being a broker next. I mean,
Hmm.
I'd feel like my clients appreciate that as we're looking for opportunities, whether that's fix and flips or it
Right.
just being real. Yeah, I real, if these wholesaler deals that come through and the competition, how they get bid up and then this is great. And you go, but are we accurately underwriting these properties with realistic expenses and realistic timelines and realistic, holding costs? And
Hmm.
I think just being honest, analytical, and consultative, it comes full circle when people decide to finally make the move, whether that means they already own assets or they're getting into their first.
Son, thank you for that. And really, you can't fake it. Relationships are everything in this space. The way that you set it down, the way you described it is absolutely just on point. So before we wrap, I wanted to allow the listeners, if they wanted a chance to reach out with you, connect with you, maybe collaborate or just learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, well, my website is just constantcommercial.com. If
Mhm.
you go there, there'll be several input forms that you can reach out to me, and they come to me direct, and the team that are the office line. I mean, give me a call. I love to talk on the phone, so beware. You call, you carve out some time because I'm very giving of my time on the phone. So you can call the office line, which is also on the website there.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for that. That's what we're all about here at the podcast as well. Connecting people to more information, having players like you in this game that do that as well is what makes this all the great experience that it is. Well, listen, we really appreciate your time, Cory, your story, your perspective, and we definitely need more people in this space that are doing things the right way. So thank you for being here. For those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure that you are subscribed. We've got more conversations coming up with operators just like Cory, who are out there building real businesses. Thank you very much for your time today, man. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.